Hello pandas and other trash enthusiasts, allow me to express to you the vibes. I'm getting overrun. I've been piling stuff up in here for a little while, and we've got a special guest in the shop lately, the truck. She takes up a lot of space and there's barely any left for me. So here's the mission. We're gonna see how much stuff we can stuff into the vibe, referring to the car, and see if we can make it squash down and touch the new tires. If so, that'll be unfortunate. We don't really want that. But my point is we want to clear everything out and see how much we can cash out on. I have a target. Things are expensive. We've got a few different piles of stuff and we can't just keep storing it all. So let's turn it into cash. Before we do, I've saved up a few interesting looking pieces that you might find entertaining. I've been looking forward to picking them apart. So let's just see what we can find in a few various items. Well, now my next challenge is getting this wire out. I'm hoping it cooperates. I think I can. Oh yeah. I don't know why I was worried about this. Well, that wasn't actually that bad. Either way, that's too far away. I'm going to start a small bin for wire because we have a bit of a collection over here. I'm having a struggle. All right. There. Aluminum. Okay, let's poke through this. A little lump of number 2 copper for the bin. Stainless, copper and brass recovery. Let me get some more mixed wire. I'm just going to plow through this. I know this is an RF switch for an NES. There's a million of them out there. The demand is simply not that high. This is an interesting sack. A lot of this seems like it would be worth stripping or using, so I'm just going to separate that stuff. Okay, I went through them, and unfortunately there's not really very much worth me saving, or very much worth stripping. See, these look better than they are. So this one here looks like it's a really heavy gauge, but it's actually just wrapped around an inner insulation core. This one here is a great example of how these are mostly insulation, which is probably good for a car audio application because they might get pinched by a bunch of stuff. But as far as copper recovery, there's really not much there. I saved 2 little pieces, which are 10 gauge, but they're, you know, stranded, so they're still just going to be number 2. So worth it when sitting there stripping, I suppose. The only things I'm saving are these, the power cord, 2 fuses, a distro box, and another, I guess this would be your grounding cable. I'll set those aside with a monoblock amp that I have sitting around for a stereo install, because these ones actually are nice, and these would cost some real money when it gets to that point. So save myself like $100 down the line. Other than that, this is all insulated number 2. That was embarrassing. I've probably lost a bunch of footage because when the battery dies on this camera, it corrupts the file. And I'm learning the limits of non-OEM brand batteries in this thing. Anyway, here's what we have. A bunch of copper. And I've already thrown some brass down, but here's a few more pieces. Plus this little one. And this one I'm interested in. Ouch. There we go. Nice little lump of brass. Now that leaves us with this, which I really don't think there's going to be much brass at all in, but we might as well check. The neck is brass. I don't know if that threads out or if we have to start breaking stuff. Alright. It'll just be steel. Sure if we can just tap that out. Doesn't seem to work. Okay, well that did solve that mystery actually. A little bit. Oh. We're gonna say screw it. Got a brass. And now some parts from all the recent junk I brought home. What is this? I hear nobody ask. Well, zinc aluminum alloy. We're gonna put that with the dirty aluminum. Speaking of dirty aluminum, easy mode. That's probably, I don't think I can get cast for that. And then this thing, that garburator. Oh, it's got ants all over it. That's fun. Is it magnetic? That's not magnetic. That's cool. I will try to take these off, but they're kind of strange looking bolts, so. Nah. Get a piece of brass I threw in there out. There's a big ass bolt in there. You know what? We don't really have to work that hard. And that's a crappy motor. Mystery solved there. Okay, now we're going to lose a little film quality while the other one charges, and I use the wide angle to fit this thing up here. Yeah. You remember these? I'm not going to spend too long sharing it because we've been through this before. Gonna have a whole bunch of screws. And a bunch more screws. There we go. My favorite part. That monstrous thing. Just give me a moment on this. Aha. That's the part. The part that looks exciting but isn't terribly. No, it is. There's like so many layers on this board. So for gold recovery, this one will be excellent. Gold recovery. We just pop those all off. Throw them in the gold bin. And that's the part I actually care about. There. Now those are some nice copper bars to stack. Okay, so that is one nice clean piece of cast aluminum. Everybody knows what I mean by when I say clean. We're talking about scrap here. And I already learned my lesson about this side. There's nothing in there to justify the struggle involved with getting it out of there. And this is going in as a dirty cast, because it doesn't matter. Ba-bam! If anybody was disappointed to see me scrap that brass Coleman lamp, you're going to hate this. This right here. My roommate acquired a grandfather clock, which he turned into a shelf because the insides were all messed up and it was not working properly. And that is what all this is from. And these are very, very heavy. And I'm pretty sure that's all lead. But I'm actually going to put these back together because I think those are pretty cool tubes. Wow. Somebody just stuffed that full of whatever. Cool. I don't quite understand why these things are poured into, like have little bits of wood and stuff in them. I guess just to take up space. That one's just straight lead. These are cool, but they're also very, very thin. So, I don't know if I've got any use for those, but I'm going to stash them for now. Well, that's going to go in the melt pile. There's, like, Ooh. Maybe 10 or 15 pounds there. Now let's get right into this one, shall we? I recognize that to many people, doing something like this is sacrilegious because it's old and it was beautiful and it could be repaired. But my roommate is similar to myself in that he flips things for profit. He restores furniture, and he got this grandfather clock for free because it was not functioning right. And he considered his options and looked at what else was on the market. And unfortunately, there's just way too much competition. And what I mean is there's plenty of grandfather clocks for anybody who wants to buy one. And they're not that expensive. You can find one that needs a little work for 50 bucks, or you can find one that works great for less than 200. I realize that'll, probably leave plenty of people asking, well, 200 bucks sounds great. Why not just repair one? And it's not, I don't know if it's easy or not, and neither does my roommate. But it would take time to learn how to repair vintage clocks, to learn all of the intricacies, and then apply that knowledge effectively. How many hours can you justify putting into something that you're then going to compete against $50 on the marketplace? Comparatively, he made a beautiful, one-of-a-kind shelf in a lot less time, with skills he already had, for a similar amount of profit. So now somebody can buy that and have a really unique piece of furniture that they love, that they don't need to hire somebody to come in and maintain on a regular basis or learn a bunch of skills. They just have a nice shelf. And it's not like this stuff is getting wasted either. I'll save some parts if I think I can use them for future projects I have in mind. And the rest of it, it's not getting thrown out, it's getting recycled. Right? It's getting put back into the market to be turned into other, more demanded products. I think that's why I love metal and why I love things made out of metal. They never truly die. You can recycle them over and over and over again. I'm a lot of things, but not a clockmaker. And neither is my roommate. I don't have any feel-good tropes to justify my actions here. It just is what it is. But I am pretty grateful I had the opportunity to have a bunch of clock parts spread across my workbench. Now, let's do some other brass. And of course, we're wearing gloves. Why do brass and lead just end up going together all the time? That is an aluminum casing. And that used to be an elastic. Thankfully empty. I should probably get my friend to let me check if any of these are vintage. Yeah, I'm gonna send him a picture, give him a call. See, I know there's value in reloading these, so that's obviously why Buddy held on to them for so long. Some of those are enormous. Next, we've got these. These should be pretty straightforward. I already sold the bike racks, so that went great. Let's go with a single ski one first. That should be a relatively simple matter. We have a 12. At least I think it's a 12. Most of those fit on pretty tight, so off we go with the nylon strap, and we got a nice extruded aluminum bar. And then these ones, easy peasy. That one's got some weight. Now there's just one more item I've been waiting to process. Now if you've been here before, you know these are relatively quick, not to mention fun and profitable. But because I don't have access to my garage, I need to be extra careful not to lose anything. See how this goes. Beautiful. Then I've got this handy dandy tool. I'm hoping it's sturdy enough to manage. I'd say that looks pretty good. This part, of course. almost it, but there's like one more thing I promised. And that's these things right here. At the risk of cannibalizing another potential video idea, I really want to see if these smaller ones are just as profitable as the larger ones when it comes to hours spent, dollars per hour. This resin coated one is something special. Holy. I'll get there. Okay, now this is a speed challenge, which means it may not necessarily make for the best footage, but I'm just gonna start a timer and see how long it takes, and then we'll weigh it all up at the end and see how much profit. I'm just curious if it even compares to doing the big ones, or if it's possibly better, because I know with motors, the bigger you get, the more time it takes. So, I mean, obviously, but yeah, there's like a medium, a happy medium, literally. Okay, so now we're here. Got them all finished off. That one that was coated in some kind of a resin situation was definitely the worst. But those 9 took me an hour and 10 minutes. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time cleaning these up. Last time I did, I actually did get number 1 for most of it. But that kind of conversion is unrealistic and impractical because most people are probably not going to get that. So for the sake of science, and also perhaps more so because I'm feeling pretty over these, whoops! I'm just gonna pick up what's there and call this good. Before we haul in that nice stash, though, got a little bit of an errand to run. Yeah. But is it stainless? Nope. Bye. All right, now, that was just shy of 50 bucks. Not bad for a fairly small steel run, but now it's time for the good stuff. What do we got there? Starting with the long boys, aluminum extrusion. All right, that is everything. Packed it basically right full, and we even packed some stuff in the front because there was nowhere else for it to fit. Got a decent squad going on, but you know, even though the tires are disappearing into the wheel wells, there's still space there. So I think those size wheels are just fine. Now, I think this will be a good gauge for, we're going to learn a bunch of stuff. We're going to see how much we made per hour on the little transformers, and we're going to see how much a garbage bag full of Christmas lights is worth. Yeah, I don't know about you, but there's a bunch of exciting stuff in here for me. This is going to be a big delivery. Let's go find out. Fair enough. We're back, and we did okay. We got like just shy of 550 bucks. Not too bad. I'll put the receipt up on the screen so anybody who's curious. You can draw your own conclusions, but it's my opinion the batteries suck right now. 24 cents. Best I've seen was 34 cents, so that's not good. But everything else seems to be pretty okay. I didn't actually check those rims with a magnet, so I'm not sure if it's totally fair to call them magnetic rims, but I get what they're saying. The rest of this actually seems pretty solid. Nothing to be mad about. And the copper, the transformers, yes, I wrote that down here. 77 pounds of prepared steel was like $10, and the 28 pounds of clean number 2. Now, if we hadn't done any work at all and just loaded them up and sold them as like whole transformers, we would have got 55 cents per pound, which is the difference of $62. So that hour and 10 minutes we spent, we made $62 doing it, or $53.35 an hour. That is actually lower than the giant transformers that I did on the previous video, for those of you who watched it, but still, that's pretty decent an hour. I think that's what I wanted to know. Totally worth it. Do your transformers. Now, some of you may have also noticed I didn't bring in any of the brass, and that includes the bucket of brass, which doesn't take a lot of space, so I don't mind waiting on that, and the bucket of ammo brass. So that, I did speak to my friend, and he thinks there is value to be extracted as refillable casings. So that's something that I'm going to explore. Maybe we'll be able to make a video out of that. I'm not totally sure, but we'll explore that further, and I'll let you know what I find. Thanks for coming along on this one. I had fun, and I hope you did as well. Thank you for subscribing to everybody who's been doing that, and we're getting really close to 100, so help your boy out. Let's get in there. Click that button. I know it's a bit cringy, but we're so close, and it means a lot. So, thanks for joining. I'll see you on the next one. Leave it better than you found it. Keep doing the thing.